and welcome back everyone to the video series dedicated show on MTV that has finally made it to the finals. That's right, we're talking about The Challenge Season 37, Spies, Lies, and Allies, Episode 18. And before we can get to the final portion of this episode, let's start off where last episode left off, and that was TJ making the announcement that 2 more players will be leaving the game before they leave the lair, and it is deemed the Night of Eliminations. And once he sends Emmanuel back up to his Emerald cell, that's when he addresses the agency and says that they are no longer the agency. And then he dismantles the teams in general. So he has everybody line up in a single file line where everybody is now going to get 1 vote and vote in who they want to send into the eliminations on the women's side. And whoever gets voted into the lair will get to choose their opponent for the next elimination. The votes come down to an 8-2 vote to send in Amanda into the elimination. The 2 votes for Tori came from Amanda and Nelson. And I'm very happy with Nelson voting with Amanda. For a while now, she's been saying that Nelson is her only friend in the game, and it would have been so devastating if it came down to a 9-1 vote where nobody else had Amanda's back. So, with that being said, Amanda is voted into the lair, and now it is time for her to pick an opponent, but Amanda is trying to fish for any information she can get from TJ about what the possible next elimination game is, and the only hint TJ gives Amanda is that they will not be playing Rocket Run. So, Amanda decides to go with her beef, her vendetta on the season, and that is Tori. So now we're going to have Tori versus Amanda in the elimination known as Drone Drop, where in this elimination there will be a drone high up and it will drop a football. TJ will blow that horn, the women will have to run towards the football, wrestle it away from each other, and then drop it into their barrel. It is a best 2 out of 3, and if you have been watching the challenge for a little bit, you will recognize this game from Season 33, War of the Worlds, where it was known as Drone Drop Ball. Before even knowing what the elimination game is, I think that Amanda already made a mistake in her selections by choosing Tori. We have no idea what the elimination game is. You should just assume that it is going to be to your disadvantage because coming into the elimination, Amanda was hoping it was going to be puzzles, and so that's why she picked Tori. Also, her and Tori have not been getting along at all. I think Amanda should have chosen Nani for the elimination because I think they stack up well close to each other. I think that they are pretty even physically, and even in puzzles, I would give the nod to Amanda. So coming into this elimination, knowing it's physical, knowing it's against Tori, I'm kind of hoping that Amanda can just like weather the storm, maybe get a point, and make this a very competitive elimination. However, we get to round 1 where it is a good fight, a good wrestling match, but at one point Tori is just carrying Amanda as she's walking around the arena, kind of like in Amanda's backpack, or you know, where those like carriers for babies where parents can put them on the chest and they can walk around hands free. That's what it kind of reminded me of in this elimination, but it comes down to it where Tori gets round 1 and then come round 2 and Tori gets the point, easily securing this 2-0. I will say in round 2 it looked like Tori jumped the gun and got a false start, and she was a good, I want to say, 2 feet away from her barrel before TJ blew that horn. I don't think this would have changed anything if Tori hadn't got the false start or not, but it's something that I noticed on the replay. But Tori wins this 2-0, winning, getting to stay in this game and make it to the finals, whereas Amanda, on the other hand, played a good game, made things interesting and entertaining along the way, but alas, she was unable to win and she is eliminated from the game. Now, the shoe is on the other foot, and it is time for everybody to vote in 1 man into the elimination where they will choose who they want to go up against, and this comes down to 3 men. We have Nelson getting 2 votes, Devin getting 1 vote, and Emmanuel getting the rest of the votes, where the 2 votes for Nelson come from Tori and Emmy. Devin gets 1 vote from Emmanuel, and then Devin and everybody else votes in Emmanuel. So Emmanuel is going into his 2nd elimination of the night, and he decides he's going to choose Devin to go up against, despite Tori saying, don't pick Devin, which once Emmanuel picks Devin, the rest of the men standing up on the stage are like, who else was he gonna pick? What are you thinking? Like, do you want him to pick me? How dare you? And even Nelson like calls her out, says typical Tori, kind of like wanting to backstab and snake me, even though you said that you wanted to run this game and work with each other. So Tori is catching some heat with her vote and trying to save Devin at the last minute, but she cannot save him, as now it is Emmanuel versus Devin going into what Emmanuel is hoping is either drone drop or another physical elimination, but instead it is triple threat, where it is going to be 3 puzzles for each man to have to finish up. Whoever finishes all 3 puzzles will win, stay in this game, and make it to the finals, where the other person will be eliminated. This kind of reminds me of Puzzle Pyramid from Free Agents. That was the final elimination of that season, and it had 3 puzzles. TJ blows the horn, and the first puzzle is like a color Sudoku, and to my surprise and excitement, Emmanuel was able to finish the first puzzle rather quickly, well before Devin, who was struggling mightily with this first puzzle. But once we get to the second puzzle, this is where Emmanuel was struggling significantly. And it is one of those puzzles that we've seen on the challenge before, where you get all the numbers 1 through 9, and you have to arrange them in a way that all everywhere has to equal a certain number, which we know is 15. Emmanuel doesn't know the combination to this puzzle. He's never seen it before. He doesn't know what everything adds up to. Tori tries to help Emmanuel out, whereas she's getting called yet again out by Nelson, saying things like, wow, your best friend and number 1 Devin is going up in the elimination against your BF, yet you're trying to like snake him out of this game. How dare you? Which I was thinking, wow, all these players are tight-knit and they're really friends with one another. However, then I was thinking that I think Nelson and CT would rather see Devin in the finals than Emmanuel, because they look at Devin, I don't think, as a very strong competitor, especially when it comes to long distance running. So that could be their strategy as well, calling out Tori, trying to get her to stop helping Emmanuel. They do a good job at stopping Tori from helping Emmanuel in time for Devin to get the answer to the first puzzle. Once he hits the second puzzle, that's when CT's like, oh, I'm gonna help him out. So he's trying to give Devin help since Tori was helping Emmanuel, and Devin was like, shh, I do not need any help. I think I can get this. And he gets it in seconds. He's now on his 3rd puzzle. And finally, Emmanuel gets significant help from Tori. He gets the second puzzle. Now both men are on their 3rd puzzle. This is anybody's game until Devin gets the check. He gets the win. Emmanuel is eliminated from the game. He is the final player eliminated from the season. And so we have 8 players left. And once they are all up on the stairs, lined up, that's when TJ says those magic words, "You have all punched a ticket to my finals. Go back to the house, get some rest, because you are going to be in for one doozy of a finals." Now, coming back to the challenge house, I thought we were going to get some excitement. We were going to get some like loud cheers and just jubilation like we did at the stairs. However, coming back to the challenge house, we got nothing like that. I think it was way late in the night. Everybody just wanted to go to bed. But before everybody heads to bed and gets a good night's sleep, we have Nelson complaining yet again that Tori was helping Emmanuel and not helping Devin, and trying to get Devin possibly eliminated. And I understand you're frustrated with everything. However, what's done is done. Emmanuel has already left. Devin is still in this game. You don't have to keep on harping on it. I know it just happened, but get your mind ready for the finals. And so we move on to the next day, which I don't think I have to get too deep into detail, but the whole day is just everybody reflecting on the season, how everybody got here, everybody who left, can't believe that we are in the finals, we're heading to the finals. Then everybody gets into what it would mean to win that kind of money, how they would use it, how they would help their families, what the title of being a challenge champ would mean to everybody. One interesting fact I did recognize is that the magic number this season is 3. And what I mean by that is that half the players that are in this final, this is their 3rd finals. We have Kyle, Tori, Casey, and Nani all on their 3rd final for this season. I thought that was quite interesting. But now, speaking of the finals, everybody gets their bags packed. They head down to meet TJ at an undisclosed location to get started on these finals. The first phase and the first checkpoint is that everybody is going to be taking off from the starting line to head over to a puzzle, finish the puzzle, and then run to get a spot on a helicopter. There's gonna be 2 per helicopter. If you get to helicopter 1, you'll have a good time advantage over everybody else who is in the helicopters to follow you. Everybody gets on the starting line, TJ blows that horn, and everybody takes off to get to this first puzzle. CT and Nelson are way in the lead. They get to their puzzles first. We can recognize it from the elimination that Kels and Tracy went up against Ed and Emmy in, and everybody is putting their puzzle together. They also have these magnet flags that they have to put to the corresponding country that they go with. CT crushes his puzzle, getting first place, taking off, but he doesn't flip over his puzzle. So everybody is looking at it going like, if I have any troubles, I'm looking at CT's puzzle. CT and Tori are the first two done. They're gonna be in the first helicopter. Then Nelson gets third place, which congratulations, Nelson. He gets third place, and Devin gets fourth place. They're gonna be in helicopter number 2. Casey gets 5th, Kyle gets 6th, and so they'll be in helicopter 3, and then Emmy and Nani, which is funny that Nani gets dead last in this first checkpoint because she was the one that commented in the confessionals that, ooh, CT didn't change over his puzzle, so now I'm gonna be inclined to cheat off of it, but she was having difficulties even with CT's answer key right out there. So everybody gets into their helicopters, they're enjoying the view as they're making their way to jump out into a body of water. Once you make your leap of faith, you have to swim over to a buoy where there are these like wave riders, which is very reminiscent to the dive bomb challenge earlier on in the season. You have to get on these wave riders, you have to drive all the way to a flag buoy where you have to then rip off a puzzle piece, then you have to get to shore, change into some dry clothes, run uphill, and let me tell you right now, this run uphill is an equalizer because it seemed as though that CT had a very far out lead over everyone, but once you're heading uphill, that's when Nelson was able to overtake Tori and CT, get first place, and even get to the puzzle first, which they have to do a replica puzzle from the dive bomb challenge where they have to connect one piece of wire to the other and then flip a lever and then run off to the next station. But everybody makes it to the puzzle. They're doing it. They're trying to figure it out. Even with Nelson and CT having a head start over everybody, Devin was able to do this lickety-split, making up time for what he lost in the first checkpoints puzzle. He gets done, he is running to get to a board that says pick the purple or the orange station, and these will be your cells for the next leg of the finals. Each team will be made up of 4 players, 2 men and 2 women. So Devin goes over to the purple cell. CT finishes his puzzle second, makes sure to smash this one, and he takes off, and he sees that Devin chose purple. He decides to be on the purple team with Devin, which surprised me because I would think that he would want to go with the orange team, maybe try to coax some players to be on his own team, and I don't think Devin is that great at cardio, so this could be a portion where maybe Devin and CT would want to bash heads with each other, but he decides he's going to go with Devin's team on the purple team. Tori finishes third, which I have to say, I'm pretty surprised and impressed with Tori on these puzzles. I don't think she was that great at puzzles in her past, but compared to everybody else who is in this year's finals, she is absolutely doing a great job killing these puzzles. So she gets done third place, she's running, and she is going to lock in on the purple team with CT and Devin, and then Emmy finishes 4th place, and she's of course going with Uncle CT, so we have the purple team and the orange team locked. Everybody else finishes with Kyle in 5th place, Nelson in 6th place, 7th Nani, and Casey in dead last. And TJ comes out to give a little bit more clarification on what's going to be coming the next part of the finals, and he says that you are in your 2 cells, and you're going to be running the next leg of the finals in these cells, and you're gonna stay in these cells until I say otherwise. And then he tells everyone that you do not want to be the cell that comes last heading into the night portion of this finals, because when looking at the preview to the next episode, it seems like there could be another purge, meaning an elimination kind of like what I thought of in Total Madness, where everybody got to that night portion, where then it was whoever was in last place had to go into the elimination, and then whoever won got to choose who goes up against the last place finishers. This time, because they're in cells of 2 men and 2 women each, the elimination is already set. So if you come in last place, you know who you're going up against. And I'm telling you right now, Devin was talking so much after he beat Emmanuel that he played a flawless game, and the only thing that he was missing was an elimination win. Well, guess what? You did not play a flawless game, because the other flaw in your game is that CT is still here. And if you come in second, oh boy, he will tear you limb from limb. This is going to be exciting. On the flip side, if the orange team comes last and it is Casey versus Nani, that would be interesting to watch as well. But we're going to have to wait to see what's going to happen, as this is where this episode ends. What'd you think about this episode? Let me know that in the comment section below. What'd you think about the Night of Eliminations and how it was handled? What do you think about Amanda and Emmanuel's decision of picking Tori and Devin to go up against in the elimination? Do you think they made the right moves given how much information that they had going into the eliminations? Also, what do you think about the finals so far? How do you feel about them being puzzle heavy so far? What do you think about them being put into cells midway through these finals? And what do you think is going to happen next? Let me know anything and everything down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. While you're down there, hit that like and subscribe button. I'll be back really soon with more Challenge 37 content, more challenge content, more content in general. But until then, peace.
Played a flawless game. I really can win now. And, I like my chances.
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready?
Ready!